Classical authorities had a clear recipe for how the content of a speech should be arranged. It should be divided into a set number of parts, 5 for Aristotle, 6 or 7 for Cicero, in a set order. While this structure has often been criticized as unduly restrictive, it is still hard to beat. The first part is the exordium, or proimion. Its principal purpose is to establish who you are and why you are the right person to address this topic. As such, it is naturally the place for an ethos appeal, demonstrating your character and expertise. Once that's out of the way, you set out the facts. This is the narratio, or diegesis, or prothesis, the basic story that all parties agree on. Of course, since you are the one telling it, you can take the opportunity to present it in a light favorable to your cause. But you should postpone intrinsically controversial material until the next section. The proper place for contentious matters is the divisio, or partitio, or propositio, in which you explain how your version of the facts differs from your opponent's. Aristotle does not have a separate section for this purpose, which is why his speeches only have 5 parts. Once you have set out the terms of the debate, it's time to show why you are right. This begins with the confirmatio, or pistis or probatio, in which you offer arguments in defense of your own side. This is where logos comes into its own. Next, you turn to your opponent's arguments and why they are no good. The rebuttal of competing views is the reprehensio, or confutatio, another logos heavy section. Cicero suggests that you may pause at this point for a digressio, a sidebar addressing related issues. Later authorities mostly omit this optional extra component. Finally, you end on a ringing appeal to your audience's emotions. This is the peroratio, or epilogos, or conclusio, the climax of the speech. Which emotions you appeal to depends, of course, on your subject matter. Compassion when speaking for the defense, righteous anger when speaking for the prosecution, patriotism when rallying troops, and so forth. All of these are pathos appeals. In practice, not every speech need contain every component, nor should all the components always receive equal weight or necessarily occur in this order. The echo of the courtroom and the assembly chamber is audible in the classical Dispositio, but speeches and written works are composed for many other purposes. In particular, epideictic rhetoric often calls for a lighter structure, although you could construct a speech of praise with a lengthy divisio in which you enumerate all the reasons people hate your subject, and an equally lengthy reprehensio in which you rebut them. It may be better to pass over such regrettable matters in silence. An aposiopesis. The greater your experience with divisio, as with other supposedly rigid rules of rhetoric, the greater your confidence in knowing when to bend it.